spirit solistically speaking. I'm spirit solistically speaking. I'm spirit solistically speaking. We just chatting, y'all. I'm spirit solistically speaking. I'm spirit solistically speaking. I am. Who is it?
It is RJ, mother.
It's Kristen.
You don't know your name? What's up? What y'all piling in here for?
We heard you from all the way out there. We was wondering what you were doing.
I'm trying to do an intro for my new podcast. I have a new podcast, y'all.
Has a new podcast.
Yeah, I do. You remember the last one, RJ?
Yes, ma'am.
You and not RJ. You and Dre wrote the hook for the last one. How'd it go?
Inspirational treasure on the radio.
Right.
Inspirational treasure on the radio. She's on the radio. On the radio. On the radio. On the radio.
I like it. Yes. Y'all remember, that's pretty cool. But I can't use that same intro for this one because it's not entitled that. It's called Spirit Solistically Speaking.
Spirit solistically. Huh?
Solistically.
No.
Spirit. Lead me where my trust is without borders. We walk.
No, that's not it either. And since y'all can't pronounce it, I guess y'all won't be helping me write no hook.
I'm not gonna lie though, those are three really big words.
It's not three words. First of all, because spirit solistically is one word. It is describing us getting our spiritual liberation through our soul's healing. You feel me? Like, this podcast is going to shed some light on some areas that many people may not want to talk about or discuss, but it's going to help some people be free. You feel me?
That's amazing. But they're still big words.
It's one big word because it's all put together. One way or another, it's all good. Oh, shoot, y'all, I didn't even stop my recording. And it's all right, though, so I guess we're going to make this the introduction, and I'm just going to say, welcome, everybody, to Spirit Solistically Speaking. I am your host, the Inspirational Treasure, and these are my awesome children, 3 of them anyway, and I'm ready to get this show started. Y'all ready for me to get this show started? Yes, Spirit Solistically Speaking. Spirit Solistically Speaking. No, Spirit Solistically Speaking. We just chatting, y'all.
Just chat.
Yeah. We just chatted with 3 big ones.
Just chatting. Let's get it started. Blessings upon blessings. This is the Inspirational Treasure, aka Apostle Treasure, Coach Treasure, Shalonda Treasure Williams Leonard, Prophet Shalonda. Whatever treasure you're looking for, we are all here and we are in the place to be, which is on our awesome podcast, Spirit Solistically Speaking. And I'm excited to be here. I know it's been a few weeks. I will tell you this story though. I actually recorded an episode 8 before this one, but I had to delete it because where I was streaming from, it totally muted out everything that I did. So there was no sound, and I did a whole, I think, 45 minutes worth of talking. But I am one who believes that since it did not come out, since it did not come across, then maybe this was supposed to be episode 8. Maybe there is something about this particular podcast that is going to speak to our newness in the new beginning. And I think it actually will. Because today we are going to talk a little bit about my upcoming book. Yes, and yes. So on December 18th of 2023, I'll be releasing, I won't even get to lie to y'all and tell y'all that I remember which number I'm on. Probably 16, something like that. Along with some awesome collaborations. I think I'm up to about 25, 26 authoring authoring something. But I'm very excited. I'm very excited. I'm very excited about this particular book because it speaks to where my heart and my mind is, and the liberation of actually just living it, right? Living my entire truth of Love Walker, I'm going to share with you the synopsis of the book today, and I'm going to actually share with you the poem that I wrote that started out actually as supposed to be the introduction, and then it started sounding a little spoken wordish, so I started off like that. But I'm going to share with you today the title, and then I'm going to share with you a little bit about the book, and then I want you to do me a great big favor, and that favor would be to head over to Amazon.com and place your pre-order. Now, I'm only going to release it in Kindle to begin with. I know many people are waiting for that paperback type of vibe. That's what you vibe with. But I'm asking you to do me this one solid, right? To order it in Kindle. It will only be $6.99 in Kindle. So if I do decide to release the paperback, hardback, or audio at a later time, you'll be able to order it in that way if that's what you choose. But we want to release it and we want to make it make noise, right? And so here's what I'm doing. I have decided to write a series of books entitled Discovering Treasure's Truth. And this is really my journal entries, my heart pour for what God has been showing me over the years. And believe it or not, I'm going to end up taking you all the way back to when I was young, the things that I experienced, and just experiencing life through my eyes so that you can see that, love is just something that's always been ingrained in me, and I don't really know how not to pursue it. I don't call myself perfected at it at all. Believe me, I still have my moments. And as I was listening to a recording of The Way of Mastery, dealing with the heart, I noticed that there's still some things that even now I'm still working on as I should be, right? I made a post today on the Facebook page that literally if you excuse me, if you stop growing, if you stop producing fruit, like if trees stop growing and they stop producing, then there is no need for them anymore. That's stagnation and they die. I remember a particular scripture in the Bible where Jesus and his disciples were walking, and he went to get a fig off the fig tree and it was bearing no fruit. So he cursed it at the root and for it to dry up. Because if you're not producing fruit, then why are you even still present? Anything that is not stagnant, anything that is stagnant or not growing, then, what's the point? Now, I think about that, and that may be something that you'll see somewhere in the book somewhere, all right? But growth is something that must take place, right? And that makes me think about the fact that Jesus says in the Bible scriptures that when the Spirit of truth comes, will lead us and guide us into all truth, right? When the Holy Spirit comes, as we understand it, we will be led and guided into all truth, which then makes me think on these things that Jesus was never stating that he had spoken all truth or that all truth had ever been revealed, which makes perfect sense because those same scriptures tell us that our thoughts are not God's and our ways are not his, which means that we're always exploring. And this morning I went live. I was in meditation time. I went from the bed to standing meditation to walking. I went outside. I stood, took in all of the nature around me and began to pace and walk back and forth. And as I did so, I was prompted, the Holy Spirit prompted me to go live on the Love Walk Outreach Global page, which is my ministry page. And I just began to speak the utterances of what God was giving me. And it was simply put, I am that I am. I am all in all. And I'm always searchable because there's no limits to me. I'm always searchable because there's no limits to me. I am possibility. I am possibilities. I am all possibilities. And it may seem like, to somebody, it may be like, yeah, that sounds about right, but there is no but. And again, that's of course my stance in it, because I believe, because I do believe in God. I do believe in the I am. I do believe in the creator of all things, or the one that expressed all things, right? And I'm continuously wanting to know more and to search God out some more, because there's so much brilliance to this creation, right? And there will be things that I will never know. And there will be things that you will never know, not in your earthly time. And that's okay, because that leaves something for somebody else to explore, something for somebody else to search out, something for somebody else to come to the knowledge of and expose it to the world and give revelation and knowledge and all these different things. We think about stuff like when it says there's nothing new under the sun, and that's reality, because, God is all things at all times at the same time. So all things exist right now. Everything that ever will exist already does, because God is all things at all times at the same time. So the message is that God is always searchable, because though all things already exist, though there is nothing new under the sun, because God is all things, the growth that we have in this life is to continue to ask and seek and knock, right? God says, if you seek me, you'll find me. These are the scriptures that most of us, or some of us, have been reading for all of our lives, and the revelation to many of them are not as simple or cut and dry, or interpreted in such a a way where it still leaves us and keeps us separate from God. So it's just, I could say a whole lot, but I won't. I'm gonna go ahead and get into it, because I want to share with you a piece of my heart today from this book, and you head over there and you place your pre-order. Now, the wonderful thing about pre-orders is that you don't even have to worry about whether the money is in the account right now today. Now, it's only $6.99 for the limited time that it's for pre-order, but that $6.99 won't come out of your account until December 18th, that morning, the day that it will be delivered to you on your Kindle. Now, you can always, somebody might say, well, I don't have a Kindle tablet. I don't have one. Well, guess what? You can download the Kindle app anywhere, on your PC, on your laptop, on your phone, on your tablet, iPad, or whatever. So you'll have it. And again, if I decide to do it in paperback, hardback, or even as an audio book, you'll be able to get that at a later date. But this is how we're going to do it. And I want to make sure that you know that it is my absolute honor to be able to present this work to some of you. Some of you have been waiting for it. Some of you have been waiting for me to give voice to the things that we may have talked about in our own time of engagement. The interesting thing for me, and I'll say this, there are so many, as I'm revealing a lot of what God has given me over time, there are many people who are dropping off out of my life. And I for the past year or so or more, I've really been grieving, like I told you guys before, not grieving because I don't want to do this, grieving because I know the effects that it has. I've tried to share bits and pieces of certain things all of my life, and I've watched the reaction of people who have limited thinking, but I've come to respect and understand them as well, especially according to Romans 14, because to each his own, right? To our own master do we rise and we fall, which means that how we see God, how God appears to us, is the master of our life, and we rise and we fall to that which we believe. And so I have to be able to allow them to see life the way they do and pray that I'm respected for how I see things. But what I also recognize is that you can walk with somebody for years and almost a lifetime, and then there's always going to be this place where you get to where each of you get to choose which path you're going to go down. It may not always be the same. And when you are understanding of that, there's more grace to be given because everybody is entitled to choose. They have a right to choose, and giving them that liberty is a part of what love looks like. So, with that being said, there are many who will, remember when they said, "Oh my God, I see your heart, and God showed me your heart, and He told me who you were." And now that I'm revealing more and speaking more, they will feel as if there's been a change in me. And there has been a change in me, but it hasn't been my philosophy, my thought about love. That's been the same since I was young. My thoughts about Yahshua the Christ, about Jesus, they've been the same. I've asked questions for clarity purposes, but it's been the same. What I think about God has been the same. The love that I have in my heart is the same as it was when you first met me. But because of how we think and how we process, there are going to be people who, who don't feel that way, and they're going to think that something different happened. But no, I just got the confidence to be able to stand in my truth fully and completely. And so my truth is love is law. Love is everything. God is all things at the same time, all the time, which means that if I'm looking at you, I'm looking at me. If I'm looking at them, I'm looking at me. And that means that I have to continue to grow in this love walk so that I am not pretty much abusing myself, right? And the same for all of us. So I'm going to go ahead and dive into it. Give you a little bit of the synopsis, and then I'm gonna give you this piece that I wrote concerning it, and then you are gonna do what it is that I ask for you to do. Prayerfully, you'll do what I'm asking of you. Just to go over to that link, and I'll give it to you now, which is bit.ly/what if God is all of us, all lowercase letters. Again, that link is bit.ly/what if God is all of us, lowercase letters. If you have not already done so, please head over there and place your pre-order. Now, let me tell you what's so dope about this, because I've been looking. I think yesterday afternoon, I was on Amazon, and I was like, let me look to see whether they set the categories. And now, of course, it's under a lot of categories, because even though when you're publishing, they ask you for 3 categories, they may still pick the category they choose. But what they show you is the category where you are ranking the highest, I believe, on the first 3. And so the categories, I like them. Inspirational testimony and spiritual growth. Spiritual growth is another one. The inspirational testimony and spiritual growth, that's one category. Spiritual growth. And the other one, I believe, is philosophy. And I love them. I love the categories that it's already in the top ranking. So even with pre-orders, they'll go ahead and start ranking you. And so I like to see the numbers go up. Okay, right now, the other day I was at 80 in one of the categories. And then when I checked it again, I think late last night, I was 13 in that category. And I can't remember the other numbers. I just saw the 13 and was like, oh, look at you, girl. So let's go ahead and put it up there to number 1. But I don't just want it at number 1 while we're doing the pre-orders. The day that it is released, I want it to make noise. For weeks after that, I want it to make noise. And so the other thing that I will ask of you is that once you have went and placed your pre-order, share that pre-order link and tell them why you are sharing it. Okay? If you're going to pre-order it and you want to dive into what the book is going to be about, tell them that, tell them, hey, this is an interesting read. I think it's going to be a very interesting read. You can pre-order. It won't take your money until the release date. And so, let's do it. And there may be people in your circle that already think like this, and they may be interested to read it. So in this book is going to be, some poetry. Going to be journal entry form because y'all know I like to really just talk as me. I don't want to be edited or scripted or, trying to make it look or sound the way somebody else wants it to. When I write, I want you to hear me. When you're reading it, I want you to hear me. Okay. So get ready for it. It's going to be pretty dope. And prayerfully, you'll enjoy it. All right. So let's do the synopsis. It says, hey, what if God is all of us? When you ask yourself that question, what's the first answer that comes up from your heart? The first thing I think of is the word perspective and the fact that everybody has one, and this is based on how they were brought up for the most part. That thought is followed by details of my very own upbringing and how this question was one that was just, you just knew not to pose. And with that, I giggle within. I don't giggle because it is funny per se. I do so because all in all, I know that the generations before thought that they were honoring God in this way. The statement, you better not question God, was thought to mean that you should not ever ask for clarity. With my whole heart, I believe that most of them meant well. They believed that they were protecting us somehow from the angry Father that we were indoctrinated to believe and to serve. After that, though, I then think about sitting in one of my coaching sessions or seminars that I've conducted with women from all walks of life and different realities of all the beautiful people I've encountered throughout this life. Be it in the mall while shopping, at the tag office while standing in line to register my car for the upcoming year, or in passing after coming out of the grocery store because they just positioned themselves in what they believe was the best place to get some assistance with food. Also different, yet linked by similar, if not the same circumstances, obstacles, situations, traumas, and dramas. All connected by the same basic needs and desires. I think about humanity and the bad light that is shone on any other person that does not agree with what we think or believe. But most of all, how we honestly believe that our thoughts are the only pure ones. How people don't feel considered, and that if they ask this question that I'm posing or anything like it, they fear being rejected, talked about, and judged. I also think about the many amazing beings I've talked to in random conversations who were not from the same background as me, yet their hearts have been broken over the same tragedies, and they've grieved over great loss too. When I ask myself that question, I feel a warmth inside my heart area that I choose to call love, and I have a strong desire to explore that question a bit further. I think about what I've read about the spiritual liberators from the different ages, and I let out a great sigh. I exhale a breath of understanding where they were concerned, because I then start to realize that the perspective of many will continue to cause them to overlook the message that indeed contains the answer to the question, and so many more just like it. They lived and served, all while carrying the pressure of trying to whisper, we are one. And love is the only thing that can heal our land. In the world fully not embracing, and everyone screaming, we are right and you are wrong. This is a road that is very narrow, yet they attempted it anyway because they knew the answers to the question. At last, but indeed not least, I think about the life of Yahshua, who we know in the West as Jesus. I recall the revelations that I received in my prayer and stillness time as I continued to ask to be led into all truth. And the message kept taking me back to him showing us love in motion and advocacy for justice, peace, and grace in action. He was so dope. The message that he gave us was love is the fulfillment of the law and that we are one. I am spiritual teacher, prophet, and coach, Apostle Shalonda Williams Leonard, also known as the Inspirational Treasure. And what I want you to do is journey with me as I share the entries of my truth discovered in my time of prayer and reflection and my decision to understand the gospel of Jesus the Christ as he intended and not as it was adjusted. Namely, I am that I am. I am that I am is the most powerful truth ever. And if we truly understand it, we would then love and live it out to the fullest. Will we even treat each other better? We shall see. Listen, that's the synopsis of the book. So I want y'all to go ahead and get your hearts and your minds ready for it, because I'm going to be ready to release it in just a little bit. So on December 18th, 2023, it will be released on Kindle, and I want to make sure that you have your app already downloaded. Go ahead and put that pre-order in and share it with somebody else, telling them why. You could even share this podcast with them and say, hey, listen to this. And if you enjoy what she's saying, or if you're, inquisitive at all, if you want to ask more questions and you want to know the answers and you just want to hear her story, and listen in on these truths, and tell them to, holla at a girl. You know what I mean? Go ahead and subscribe to this YouTube channel as well, and to this podcast, and then get ready for what the book is going to reveal. I'm going to go ahead and share with y'all this piece that I wrote. And then I just want you to go ahead and handle your business. You feel me? Go ahead and handle your business over there on Amazon for me, okay? But let's get into it. Well, if you like something that you hear, you got to make sure that you do your snaps or whatever in your own personal space. All right. You can do that. Handle that for me. All right. So let's do it. And y'all excuse me clearing my throat so many times today. It's all good. This is raw and uncut, right? Recording straight through some things so you can hear me in real life, and not too many edits go on my podcast or on any of my talks. As a matter of fact, we just kind of flow through it. Silly moments and all. All right. So before I start this bit of commentary, let me say that it is not my intention to make this a spoken word piece, but it might just be. Or it might be just if I do my part to help adjust the mindsets of the world we live in by painting this picture in this manner. This picture of everlasting hope that can alter our perception and shift the backs of our kingdoms within. Thus the kingdom come, with an intentional chiropractic alignment. For our backs have been cracked by millions of trillions of generations with whips and chains, but not just ones of the physical nature. These crackings have come disguised as well-intentions and lessons of survival. Through conversations had while gathering to sup together, conversations of how to control or be controlled, judge or be judged, take or be taken, manipulate or be manipulated, or ones on how to steal from, kill some, and destroy the peace the mind aches to hold on to. Conversations where strategies for disharmony and hatred were planted and called religious practice, family loyalty, status protection, faith contending, and or kingdom protecting. Risen defense mechanisms that have now destroyed our body, the body that is one, the body that once was whole, but that has been slowly killing itself with the knowledge of what is perceived good and perceived evil. But what happens when the question is asked, what if God really is all of us? All things at all times at the same time. will that then change the mindset that is slowly devouring us in our existence? Will we then start looking through the eyes of God and showing more love and compassion for which one may not understand? Could that be what is meant by his ways are not our ways and his thoughts are not our thoughts? What happens if we choose to stop, heal the issues that are flowing from our hearts, and understand what Christ Yahshua meant when he said that there is neither Jew nor Greek, slave nor free, male and female, we are one? Or could it be why I am is no respecter of persons, or why his love is without condition? Side note, isn't he the one that made all conditions? So couldn't we take into consideration that our condition is just a reflection of someone else's? Can we quiet the voices in our heads long enough to understand? What if God is all of us? It may be just that I want to believe it in all its possibilities. And it may be wishful, blissful thinking on my part. But if we answer that question for ourselves and see how our life changes, maybe, just maybe, we can actually experience the healing of our land once and for all. Yeah, I got it out. All right, I got it out, y'all. And that's going to be at the beginning of the book. So you can pretty much see the nature of where I'm going with this and really get to hear my heart. But when you get to read what's in those pages, I'm going to go ahead and warn some of y'all now. You may sit there and, take it all in. Somebody may be really interested and they're like eating it all up and absorbing it as they're reading it. And some of you are going to read it simply because you want to see what I have to say so you can find a way to criticize it or break it down. And guess what? It's all still going to lead back to the fact that I can choose that which I believe, what resonates with me. And this right here, oh my. Oh my. When I think about loving others, getting to know them for who they are, when I think about loving myself more because of this, right? Finally accepting this truth that God gave me. I mean, I probably was about 15. I think I mentioned that before. So 15, 14, 15, 16 years old. And it might have been younger than that, right? Because, I mean, as far back as I can remember, I remember having, conversations with people about God and about love and just trying to be that. So I don't know. But I know that a lot of challenges have come along the way to really test to see whether or not this is who I am. This is the direction I want to go in. This is the path that I want to take. And as much as I love the experience of going to church, I would go there. I didn't care if other people were looking at me when I was getting my praise on, when I was shouting or hit the floor with my emotionalism, going to the altar to try to get out everything bad that they were saying that I had going on. I remember sitting there in the congregation and feeling like everything that they were saying was wrong, was all the things that I was dealing with. And I'm like, oh God, if this is the case, then I'm never going to be able to please you or be good enough for you. But oh, when the revelation comes that you are who I say you are, and I created you to be exactly who you are. Growth will always be a part of what you're doing and where you're going, and getting to a higher consciousness, as it is called, or being more enlightened is a part of life, and it's what's supposed to happen. So if you're asking God to show you his heart and show you the heart of the people, if you're asking the Holy Spirit to lead you and guide you into all truth, if you've opened yourself up to say, God, I really want to make sense of this because I don't want to live in fear, I want to live by faith, then you might just want to go ahead and put that pre-order in so we can start somewhere. Yes, yes, and yes. Now, I love you so much just because I can. I'm going to end the podcast here today. And I want you to go ahead and do that for me. Also, if you are a woman, because many of you know that I am a life coach to women, and I have some programs and some things that you can be a part of. But I want you to head over to my Ko-fi website, and that is ko-fi.com/inspirational treasure. And when you get there, click on every tab and see what you can see. There might be something there that you want to purchase that you have not received already. You may want to book you a spiritual insight session. For those of you who are not familiar, but as an apostle, as a prophet, I do spiritual insight sessions, which some of you may know as prophetic sessions, with individuals who are ready for that. You pretty much place your order, and then we make an appointment. There's also an option there where you can receive a recorded spiritual insight session, which means that you're going to leave me a message. You're going to sow whatever your price is. You can do the base price, or you can do more, and that's for anything on the site. The base price is there, but if you want to do more, you can. But once you do that and you give me your information, I will be sending you over your very own personal spiritual insight session that I've recorded for you. The one thing that I do warn everybody of, though, is I am not doing magic tricks in the way that we know it. I am simply trying to hear and listen for what it is that you need for the moment. So even if you leave me the details that I asked for, I will do my best to pray according to that and flow according to that. But if that's not what God thinks you need right now, then that's not what you're going to get right now. Okay. So I want to make that really clear, but you can do all of that over there on the Ko-fi site. Now I do have what I call a chatted up session. And I also have, other sessions, coaching sessions that you can book, but those are only available for those who are a part of my memberships. And so you can see the memberships on the site, you can see the services on the site, and you can tap into wherever you want to tap into. Now that's for, the memberships are for the women, and the chatted up sessions and the recorded affirmation session. But the spiritual insight sessions are for anybody. So even if you are a male listening to me and you want me to pray with you, pray for you, and give you the insight that God has given me concerning you, I am more than willing to do that for you as well. So nope, man, I'm not leaving you out all the way. I'm just so happen to be a coach to women in my Inspire Oppression group. And so I'm kind of dedicated to them in the coaching arena. But no, I will not deny you prophetic insight sessions, or even if you say to me, but Coach Treasure, or whatever you call me, Apostle Treasure, and you want to have a chatted up session and you're like, look, I'm willing to, invest in myself to get one. Don't be afraid to holler at me. Okay. I ain't like that, right? So let's just do it. Let's go ahead and do this thing. Let's do this healing thing. Let's do this wholeness thing. Remember, we are spirits, holistically speaking, becoming spiritually liberated through our soul's healing. So with that, we got to be able to address some stuff, right? The first order of business is to be honest about where you are, whether you're in a confused place, whether you're in a depressed place, whether you're in an overwhelmed place, whether you are still dealing with the woes of what happened to you in your past and you're not able to let some of that stuff go. I know it's hard to think about loving people when you're still holding on to what they did, what they said, how they did it, how they said it. But the reality is that what you're doing is self-abusing, right? Limiting yourself and stopping yourself from living your best life. So we want to get to this place where we can be free in ourselves, where we can walk around these streets with a real smile on, you feel me? And not be faking it. Time to take our mask off. Time to live authentically and true. Yeah. Time to recognize the kingdom of God that's within us, so that we can all begin to just live the kingdom of God on earth, and that is the kingdom of love. Yes. I love y'all so much, just because I can, and I will talk to you all again on the next episode. Big hugs and many blessings. To all my people with brave hearts, to all my people with brave hearts, to all my people with brave hearts, thank you for showing up and being you. To all my people with brave hearts, to all my people with brave hearts, to all my people with brave hearts, thank you for showing up and being you. This may not be a whole lot, but it is my thank you for showing up as your authentic self, being brave enough to say, guess what? I matter too. So to you, you brave-hearted one, you courageous one, the one that said, I know this may upset some people, but I have to show up for the people who are just like me. This is me taking my hat off to you. Thank you for showing up and being you.